Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, Deadline have released an article on David Zaslav and how he is pondering the power structure at Warner Bros. Discovery. Now, if you've been here on the channel before, then you would know that we have been talking about this for a while, and that there will be changes in power with only the best staying. Now, it seems things are starting to progress. So, let's get into the article to see what exactly is going on. So the main piece of the article that we need to focus in on is this one paragraph which states, "The insider newsletters and tip sheets bristle with rumours of departures, including those of Keilar, touted as a techno maven, and Sarnoff, who has registered little impact as chairman of Warner Media." Now, for any of you who do not know, Jason Keilar is the CEO of Warner Media, and Sarnoff is the CEO and chairman of Warner Brothers. Warner Media own Warner Brothers, and so Jason Keilar is at the top of the current hierarchy, and below him, managing Warner Brothers, is Sarnoff. David Zaslav will be the CEO of the merging company, Warner Media Discovery, and so is in charge of them both. Now, Deadline is a very reliable source, and it appears Zaslav is looking to move on both CEOs. This is the change I told you about. Zaslav will look across the board and only the best will stay. Now, us Snyder Cut fans have never really had a problem with Jason Keilar. In fact, he was very supportive of releasing the Snyder Cut. But apparently he has been very distant to the rest of the board at Warner Media. And he also annoyed a lot of people with deciding to release films in theatres and home release on the same day. And that has caught the attention of Zaslav, and so it looks like he will be moved on. And Sarnoff, on the other hand, has had some problems with Snyder Cut fans, when she said that the Snyderverse wouldn't be restored and that Snyder had completed his trilogy. We know that it isn't a trilogy, and there are still 2 more films to go, but her comments did seem to anger a lot of Snyderverse fans. But it appears Zaslav believes she has registered little impact as chairman of Warner Brothers. This is killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're improving the overall company of Warner Bros. Discovery, and you're also removing someone from power who said the Snyderverse wasn't happening. Now, there are still some people who need to be removed from power, not only because they don't seem very good at their job, but also because of the toxicity that they have created at the company. DC President Walter Hamada and Warner Bros. Chairman and Executive Toby Emmerich. Walter and Toby, along with Jeff Johns, were involved in the incident that Ray Fisher brought to light with the Justice League reshoots. Emmerich not only was the one happy with Whedon coming in to completely change Snyder's Justice League film, but he also allegedly allowed racist abuse to occur on the set of the reshoots, and Walter Hamada tried to throw Joss Whedon under the bus by taking all the blame of the racist abuse to protect his mate, Toby Emmerich, from the investigation. Ray Fisher didn't accept those terms, and so a deal or apology never happened. Now, Emmerich was trying to jump ship around a year ago, moving to Netflix, and according to The Hollywood Reporter, Netflix rejected him. Emmerich's contract with Warner Brothers runs out at the end of this year, but Zaslav has clearly been doing his research, and this could lead to another executive being removed from power. Walter Hamada, on the other hand, has just signed a new contract extension going through 2023. And who signed him onto that? Toby Emmerich. And who praised Hamada's work once he had signed the new contract extension? Sarnoff. Yet another reason why the Snyder Cut fans do not like Sarnoff. So, there seems to be a pact between these executives and presidents which made it virtually impossible for anything Snyderverse related to happen. Emmerich made the Snyder Cut process extremely difficult for Snyder, and he never wanted the cut to be released as it would show him up as a bad executive, with everyone saying how much better the Snyder Cut is to Whedon's cut. To go in more depth as to the drama that these executives have caused, Warner Max were a branch set up to manage all the HBO Max films and shows, and they were the ones who allowed the Snyder Cut to be released. Because of this, Emmerich shut the branch down and decided to run both Warner Bros. Theatrical releases and HBO Max releases. Now knowing that, do you ever wonder why the Snyder Cut trailers were leaked before they were supposed to come out? Do you ever wonder why the film was accidentally released a week early as the Tom and Jerry film on HBO Max? Someone clearly did not want it to be successful. Anyway, back to today's news. we now have a new person in charge of all of this, David Zaslav, and so the iconic trio of Hamada, Emmerich and Sarnoff is being disbanded. Sarnoff is on her way out, and I think Emmerich will be next. Hamada may be the challenge, but seeing the way things are going, I can see him being pushed out as well. Possibly later than the others, but you never know. Jeff Johns seems to have been phased out of DC films anyway, but that may not be enough. The Deadline article did state that Zaslav has done his homework, and if he has done it properly, then he would have seen Ray Fisher's claims and will most likely do an investigation of his own, if he hasn't done one already. Zaslav wants to create a good culture and atmosphere at Warner Bros. Discovery, and removing Ann Sarnoff was the first step in doing that. The toxic atmosphere also traces back to Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada, and if you remember my video from a month ago, Zaslav wants to repair broken relationships. Christopher Nolan was one of them, and he left because Warner Bros. Went behind his back and released his film on streaming on the same day as its theatrical release. Whose decision was that? Jason Keilar's. Who's now being removed from the company? Jason Keilar. Clearly, Zaslav is a man of his word, and he talked to Nolan as to why he left. He then acted on that, and we have seen movements within the board. I wonder if he will go to Zack Snyder and ask the same thing. Maybe Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, and Ray Fisher too. I'm sure he will want to get Ray Fisher's point of view on the people in power at Warner Bros., especially when it has stirred up so much negative energy connected to the company. I genuinely believe no matter what happens with the Snyderverse, David Zaslav will massively improve Warner Bros. Discovery. I think he will want to learn everything he can about the current culture of Warner Bros., and that means talking to people who have had negative experiences with the company. No matter what, Warner Bros. Discovery will be a better company than what we have had in the past 10 years. As for the Snyderverse, there are a lot of factors to take into consideration. But one of those factors seemed to have been removed by Zaslav, with these executives being moved on, and the increasing likelihood of others to follow. I know people keep on talking about how can the Snyderverse happen with the Flash erasing Snyder's DC films and the DCEU moving away from Snyder's story. But not only does the point stand that the Snyderverse is already in its own universe and the Flash film can't touch it, but we are going to be dealing with completely new executives. People without a bias, people with fresh ideas, and who are clearly, in the eyes of Zaslav, far superior at their jobs than the current Warner Bros. Executives. Zaslav said that they will spend $20 billion on content, and you're trying to tell me that they won't even discuss how 2 more Justice League films by Snyder could be created from that budget. It doesn't matter what the new DCEU films and shows do or say. It doesn't matter what the current executives state is canon. All of that is thrown out of the window now that there are new people in power. Sarnoff, Hamada, Johns, and Emmerich have hated Snyder's work. It is blatantly obvious to see. Grace Randolph said that it is an impossibility for the Snyderverse to be restored, and her sources within Warner Bros. Who have told her that are correct, because those sources are being told that by the executives who hate Snyder, not the new executives from Discovery. The executives who fed that news to Grace Randolph are being moved on from the company. So please, do not worry. The merger makes anything possible, and anything the current executives say or pass down to scoopers is irrelevant. They will only be in power for the next 60 days maximum. We are truly closer than ever to getting the Snyderverse restored. Snyder would not come back unless the executives who ruined his DC experience were gone, and it looks like that is happening. So let's just sit tight, stay positive, and keep on telling Discovery that there is still huge demand for the Snyderverse. Remember, hope never dies. Just a final comment, and that is from Ezra Miller on Ray Fisher's post about him being in Rebel Moon. He commented, "This is likely to be the greatest film of all time. Talk about restoring the Snyderverse. #yikes. Now, if anyone can tell me what on earth he means, that would be great. In usual Ezra fashion, no one knows what he's talking about. We could look at this positively and say that he acknowledges the Restore the Snyderverse movement, and simply by that recognition, he may want to be a part of it. Or we can look at it negatively and say that he's trolling the Restore the Snyderverse movement by saying that. But that wouldn't be a very nice thing to do to fans and the fact that Ray Fisher tweets out that hashtag. So I don't think he would be mocking the hashtag. Right now, I think we should just be grateful that he acknowledged the hashtag, but I don't think we need to take it as anything important as of right now. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I hope to see you here again soon. So until then, have a great day. Bye.